So, as you know, I'm doing a current series of interviews with artists from all different genres, finding out a bit more about them, what they're about, what they've been working on, where they've come from, and what they're working about to, as they continue on our craft. So, got an amazing guest on today. Really glad he's joined us all over from the States. So, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
What's good, everybody? It's Vast Aire, Cannibal Ox. I'm in the house, New York, Ohio. We here. Word up.
Yeah, brilliant. Because I did a bit of, I obviously look back at your back catalogue and also at some of the stuff you've done. And obviously, you've been round since the 90s. You're obviously still in, is it Cannibal Ox, which is still a band that's going, but you've started doing some of your own stuff. And I've listened to a lot of that stuff. I really like the sound. And you've had quite a lot of success with some of your tracks. And obviously, you're working on you've released some new stuff. So,
Yes.
where you from? Brooklyn? Is it Brooklyn you originate from?
I'm actually from Mount Vernon.
Right. Okay.
I'm from Mount Vernon, and I grew up in the Bronx and Harlem.
Wow.
I lived in Brooklyn for a long time.
Yeah.
So a lot of people associate me with Brooklyn.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, because I think it was one of your tracks, and there is one of your tracks called you got New York Minute, and you talk about Brooklyn in some of your tracks.
Yes, yeah. That was when I recorded that. We were in Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn when I recorded that. Also.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I've only been to New York once, and I really enjoyed it, really liked it. You do the tourist tours and you go through Brooklyn. We've seen a lot of that in the UK through TV shows and all that sort of, Harlem Globetrotters and all that sort of, all the 70s. I'm from the 60s. I grew up in the 60s, 70s. So, all those TV shows that are all based around that and all the things that's going on. And it was a bit surreal for me to go and visit. Obviously, you've grown up and lived amongst it, which is a totally different ball game, isn't it? Totally different ballgame.
Yeah, the city is dynamic. Of course, there's the 5 boroughs.
Yeah.
And I lived all over New York except for Staten Island. I never lived in Staten, but I lived in Queens.
Yeah.
That's where I started rhyming. I want my fans to know that. I was 10 years old, 1988. And I started rhyming in Jamaica, Queens. I want my fans to know that.
Cool. Wonderful.
Prior to that, I was in the Bronx and I was in Mount Vernon, which is right outside of the Bronx. Shout out to my man, Pete Rock. Shout out to CL Smooth. And rest in peace to Heavy D. But that's where I'm from. My birth certificate is from Mount Vernon, New York, which is right outside of the Bronx. Around 9, I relocated to Queens, and Ain't No Half Steppin' came out in 88. And after Ain't No Half Steppin', I just had the rhyme.
Oh, yeah. I'm with this. I'm just gonna sit here laid back to this nice mellow beat, and drop some smooth lyrics. Cause it's 88. Time to set it straight, you know what I'm saying? And there ain't no half stepping. Word. I'm ready. Rapper stepping to me.
But when Ain't No Half Step, I gotta give props to Big Daddy Kane. When that song hit, it was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I literally grabbed a pad and started,
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, you've answered the question that I was going to ask you, and it was, how did you start in your craft? We're aware of that, and we've grown up with the MCing from the early 80s right through to what we've got now. But my youngest lad really got me into, over the last few years, into more hip-hop and rap, and I've got a lot of friends in Detroit, and I've started really listening to it and really got a feel for it. And what I like about the genre, it's the words. The words are not, a lot of the time it's about, there's a lot of meaning behind whatever people are singing about, and there's there's a message. It's not just, I went down the road today and, met a girl, and it's got a lot of it's got proper meaning on it. Yeah. But that's great. He was inspired by another artist to get into the music.
What it is again, music is like food. You have snacks, you have junk food, and then you have food that is substance. You know, you can't compare your grandmother sweating in the pot 6 hours, making the big Thanksgiving dinner. You can't compare that to like a bag of chips.
No, you can't, can you?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't compare that to a bag of chips. So now, on the other side, there's a time for a bag of chips. To each his own. If you like something, you like it. Cool. But we clearly know the bag of chips has been pushed down people's throat. Even if it's good or not, it's still been pushed down our throat. We want a full meal.
I get it.
We want a wholesome meal. Rice, vegetables, potato. You know what I'm trying to say?
I do, mate.
Not just the quick stuff.
Yeah.
This is quick. It's fast. Okay, cool. But when your mother or your grandmother or your wife, when they make that meal for you, you know what I'm talking about.
I do, mate. I do, because you have no snacks and it's not enough, and you're looking for it doesn't fulfill your soul, does it? It doesn't fill you.
It doesn't, like, cool. All right, cool. We're watching the Super Bowl, football, soccer, whatever.
Yeah.
We're eating wings. We're eating chips. We're eating fries. That's cool. But you and I both know when you get that hearty meal,
yeah,
I mean, there's no room on the plate. And you know, certain artists, they do that for us.
Yeah.
I would like to think of myself as that artist. That doesn't mean I don't give you my cheese doodles and my bag of chips.
Yeah.
I have my own bag of chips, but I at least know my fan really craves a full meal. They want honesty. They want integrity. They want vulnerability. You're going to get multiple sides. I'm going to be strong, but I'm not afraid to show when I was weak, or when I was exhausted, or when I was tired, frustrated. Some artists, they have a way of, I'ma just show you the good. Here's all my women, here's all my cars, here's all my jewelry. I don't have no problems.
Yeah.
But then we get back to reality, and everyone has problems.
Yeah. No
matter if you have money or not, be emotional, mental, financial, spiritual. Everyone has some sort of, we're not perfect. So I'm not afraid to show the imperfection. And I think my fans, they draw to that. I'm witty, I'm funny, but I'm gonna say some real shit that's gonna make you, it's gonna make you think. It's gonna make you go over a topic in your mind. I have a line on my new album, not the EP Live from the Airport, but on my new album that we're working on called Airplane.
Right.
And I'm gonna share this line. I said something to the fact of that homeless man is not a bum. You know, you thought he was a bum, but he was an angel. That was the way I worked the line.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that's how I see things. You know, the bum in the street can be a guardian angel that's testing you. And you just walked by a person that needed a glass of water, a candy bar, a bag of chips.
A bag of chips, yeah, the chips will come out.
So I look at things like that as little tests. When you say the word greatest, you're saying two words. So everybody wants to be the greatest, but they don't want to go through the great tests. When you're the greatest, you're going to get responsibility. Spider-Man, with great power comes responsibility. Spider-Man can't punch a bank robber the same way that he can punch Thanos. Spider-Man has to keep in the back of his mind that he can kill this bank robber that made a mistake by robbing the bank. Batman is the same way. He knows how to level his power because everyone would be dead.
Yeah, they would, wouldn't they? But no one left in Gotham City. Yeah, it's an interesting point. There'd be no show.
So when you have a lot of power, heavy is the head that wears the crown. So when you have a lot of power, there's a lot of responsibility. I know too much. So I have to make certain songs. I just have to. I'm educated, I'm witty. I have to make this point. I can't just make money and do all this, frivolous, physical, material, limited gratitude.
Yeah.
I can't just do all of that all the time. It doesn't mean that I don't have fun. It doesn't mean I'm not a square. It doesn't mean that I don't enjoy chips.
Yeah.
After all of that, we know that we want the hearty meal. We want honesty. We want integrity. You could look me in the eye when I'm on stage and feel what I'm saying.
Yeah, integrity and honesty. And what you're saying before, people do like vulnerability because they like to see that. Yes, people can gravitate towards the perfection, but the perfection doesn't exist. And, no one's perfect. So people should appreciate when people...
If you gravitate towards perfection, you're always going to be moving because perfection is always moving. Exactly. Perfection is not in one place. Perfection is eternal. Perfection is infinite. If you're a painter and you're chasing perfection, you're always going to be painting.
Yeah, you are. You'll never finish because when you finish, you'll have to start again, won't you?
This is why the universe is constantly moving because the universe is perfected. And this is why it's always moving. This is why this concept we have called God has been misunderstood. This is how God is everywhere at once. Because there was nowhere until he was there.
Yeah.
But it's hard to fathom that when you're in a finite body.
Yeah.
And I talk about these things in my raps because I'm that also. But I also talk about my soul. I also talk about my mind. All of that is in my music. And all it is honesty.
Yeah, it's interesting because you're talking about things, theories, emotions, feelings. It's not you're not talking about anger and hate. You know what I mean? You're actually thinking about what's around you, what the universe is, which is good, and that's coming through into your music. That's why some of your tracks have been really popular because of that. I put this on today because I looked through your back catalogue and I like this. I like the start of this one. It's called Anti-Hero.
The anti-hero openly challenges society and tries to fight against the lies and tactics used to oppress the populace, or resourcefully outwitting and outgunning the massive army of the evil empire.
Men wake up, smoke regrets. Lazy, spare, tired, fat, pathetic. What's the message? Who are you to judge when you speak heirs of blood? What you talking about? Live without depressing power. All you do
now
no change.
That's brilliant, and then that'll we'll carry that on. So go and check that out. Anti-Hero. I like the start of that. I like the guy introducing it, and then boom.
That's me and my man Proven. Shout out to Proven. That's a record. That's one record we did. and we divided it into 7 tracks each.
777. Is that the name
So
of the?
it was
Yeah.
So it was a 21 ID album. 7 times 3, 21. 2 in 1 is 3. 777.
Yeah. Well,
So that's the 777. Yeah, the anti-hero. I come on second, and yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that project.
yeah, because you're challenging things, and there's lots of stuff going on in the minute. It's trying to challenge everything, the establishment, inequality, whatever. You know, we're all aware of it across the globe at the moment. It's like the number one news.
There's a lot of spiritual messages on the 777 project, and a lot of political insight. Definitely.
Yeah, we'll definitely be checking out. I'm definitely going to be consuming your music after this. I've listened to a few tracks.
Definitely check out all 3 volumes. 777.
I will do. I've got a lot of listening to do, but I will do. Yeah, definitely. They'll definitely be checking it out. I do like that. I like stuff, like I said just before, I like stuff that's got meaning. I love stuff that's, yes, I do like to put some music on that's just a bit of a beat bop and pop in and it's great. Get it in the car,
We all like potato chips and candy. We all do.
But then some tracks, a lot of tracks that really speak to me, that really got me into music back in the day, in the early 80s, was UB40 and some of their stuff, because a lot of their stuff is not rap, but it's obviously about inequality and also, and I really got into them, and I think they're amazing. Because it's the lyrics. You listen to the lyrics of a track, and I think that's why you get a lot of young people getting into whatever flavour of hip hop it is, because hip hop's just not one genre. Hip hop is just a culture thing. It's massive in it. You've got all different facets, different facets of hip hop. You know, the hip hop in the UK is come from Chicago. It's turned into drill. It's a totally different sound to what you'd call gangster rap, or you know,
that's right.
It's amazing, and you know, you can't just say I don't like that, because there'll be tracks that people will listen to and go, I adore that, and you go, well, that's hip hop, and they'll go, is it? You know, evolved, and if you look back where it's come from, and the beginnings of it from New York, it's where it all started, didn't it? From parties and spinning tracks and people getting together, and it just gone from there, which is just amazing. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah. The DJs started to extend the beat, the break beat that were on all those soul records.
Yeah.
There would be a nice little break beat where the band would get busy. The DJs started to keep looping it. They were manually looping it. You got break dancers.
Yeah.
And then you got rappers, the MCs. The original MC is the DJ, because he was on the mic getting people to dance. And he was doing a lot of call and response. That's just straight party. Then the MC started to say, I can talk about my neighborhood, and that's where we get the message.
Yeah.
With Melly Mel and Grandmaster Flash.
My brother's doing bad, stole my mother's TV. Says she watches too much, it's just not healthy. All my children in the daytime, Dallas at night. Can't even see the game or the Sugar Ray fight. The bill collectors, they ring my phone and scare my wife when I'm not home. Got an education,
now it's broken glass everywhere. Now they're giving you a picture of where they live. It's not just, come on, everybody, let's get on the floor and just dance and have the da-da-da-da. That's hip-hop too. But MCs started to say, I gotta talk about the police beating us. I gotta talk about when I go to the playground, there's broken glass and drug needles on the ground. I've gotta talk about the welfare system, the educational system, the police, the jail system. I have to talk we're in hell. We're going through hell. Why did Run DMC come out with no laces and no belt? That was jail.
Yeah.
When you get arrested, so you don't strangle someone, they take your laces. Why are our pants sagging? Two reasons. The first reason, the belt. We can strangle someone with our belt. That comes from jail. That Run DMC look. Rest in peace to Jam Master Jay.
Yeah, the trousers. Yeah,
that comes from us getting arrested. It comes from you wearing your brother's hand-me-down because you're broke. That's where the baggy clothes came from.
Wow.
Your brother is bigger than you. He's gonna give you mad clothes, and you're gonna grow into them.
Do you know what? That's enlightening to me, because that is just not even in the realms of understanding that. That's the reason why.
Another part of it was when you get arrested, they take your belt and they take your laces.
Yeah.
So you can't strangle another inmate.
Or yourself.
Because you're depressed, you're arrested, dudes will hang themselves.
Yeah, it's not good. It can't be very good living in that.
So look how those two tragedies became a fashion statement.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing, because as soon as you started talking about Run DMC, that's the first thing you start thinking about is the way they appeared, the way they looked, with the baggy clothes and the jeans hanging down and all the rest of it, and the big shoes and what have you. That was the look, wasn't it? Wow.
And then now I'm gonna tell you the fascination of labels. When you don't have anything, you have nothing. Your school has nothing. Your hospital has nothing. You have nothing. When you have nothing, getting that Yves Saint Laurent shirt is so big. Not any jeans, but the Lees. Getting a Kango, Adidas, Nike, Puma. It became a status symbol. You didn't have anything. Shout out to the lowlifes who created a Robin Hood culture with polo. And they said, fuck it. We're not going to buy it. We're going to steal it. I'm going to go get a shirt for me, and I'm getting a shirt for my brother. That was the Robin Hood mentality of the original lowlifes.
Yeah.
A polo gang, which was started in New York.
To get those things that they wanted, that they can't afford, that they've seen other people getting. So I want a bit of that, and that's where a lot of criminal stuff comes from, doesn't it? Your criminal activity might not be because it's just someone's a necessarily bad person, but they want the stuff that they want, and it's like, how am I going to get it? Well, do you know what? I'm gonna go nick it, because might as well. That's
right. I'm gonna go tax it, nick it. I'm gonna go steal it. Because, you get frustrated when you're at the bottom.
Because it must be difficult. If you think about places like Harlem and Brooklyn, if you're down there, right, if you're on the poverty line and your family's struggling and you've not got much, it must be extremely difficult to get yourself above that and get yourself out of that. Because
it's extremely hard to get out of that cycle.
Because you're gonna be in that cycle, you're gonna be in that area. So straight away you talk about the police. The police are gonna be active and looking and saying, well, this is a bad neighborhood. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not saying everybody's bad in that neighborhood, but they're gonna go, well, this is a bad neighborhood. They're all gonna be up to this, that, and the other. So you straight away you're gonna be stopped. You're gonna be searched. You're gonna be arrested, even if you've done nothing wrong. So I get the frustration, because potentially what you do then is go, well, actually, if you think I'm doing this and doing that and doing this, and you're going to pull me up and arrest me, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this. I presume I'm making a big assumption there.
And that's a good educated guess, and that is how a lot of it develops. Yes,
there'll be a lot of talent out there. There'll be a lot of very intelligent people that, because of their place of birth, will end up being, they've got a disadvantage to other people, haven't they? And
they have a disadvantage when your schools lack, your hospital is lacking, your fire department is late, and your police are corrupt.
Yeah, it's a recipe for disaster, isn't it? And that's, And
I didn't even bring up the hells that you can be going through at home.
Well, yeah, there's that as well, because your parents and your siblings as well, they're going to be going through all.
We
Yeah,
can, we can highlight the movie Precious. So there's kids being molested, there's kids being raped, and then they got to go out into the world and deal with a corrupt cop. When your own uncle and aunt is doing you wrong, and they were your guardians because your parents were dead or gone. When you come from a place where your own family does you bad, who are you gonna trust in the outside world?
not many people, are you? Not many people, not at all.
So this is why you hear these crazy stories on these hip hop records. Because everyone has their own experience. Some of us were just broke, but we had good parents.
Which is great.
They worked hard.
Which is great.
Some of us were broke, but had pretty parents. Some of us were poor, and we got molested. So everybody's story is unique. They're telling their story. They're telling their brother's story, who can't necessarily articulate like they can. They're telling their cousin's story and their best friend's story. I speak mostly 80%, I'm talking from mine. But there's a 20% of me where I'm talking for a friend of mine that just can't put it in a song.
Yeah.
That's not his skill.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be able to get it done in a hip hop music form.
Yeah, I fully understand. I get that. Yeah, and that's great. Everyone's got their own talents, their own skills, and it's using them. I think we'll just play some of the track from one that I selected today, which is Slow Blues, which I really like. So let's have a little bit of this.
Get my voice, get the clarity.
Sons into the flame.
Let me drop a little something hot. What?
Yeah.
We here. Yo, turn my vocals up, son.
Yeah, to my voice up. Yeah.
Yo.
Brooklyn Bro King. Yeah.
Russian down.
I'm Vast Aire.
I got to pull out the guitar on this one. Yeah.
I'm like Ali, better yet, Joe Louis. I will push my hands through you, I don't need bullets. Show me the signal, let's flow. I'll be outside with 30 niggas ready to go. We shine when we rhyme, so I'm ready to glow. I like to hem shows, I'm ready to sew. Pass me the needle, you get the cloth, Kruger get the thread, and we'll all break bread. This is the true birth of a prince. When I die, this song'll be a footprint. I'll be back with the essence in an instant. I heard about Ace on it, birth an insect. Life's ill, don't get it pretzeled. I can't show you, but I'll leave a stencil. I'm talking about what matters, not figures. I'm pointing at the moon, and you looking at my finger.
Man, that is just great. And that is nice. Nice to see you bopping along with it. Brilliant. I love this because it's great talking to people, but then when you start listening to the music and you sound different on the tracks, and you've obviously your voice, you're talking just naturally. When you spitting, I like your voice. I love the sound, the tone. I love the tone of your voice.
Respect. Yeah, man. I'm fortunate. I was blessed to have an interesting voice. Shout out to Biggie, shout out to Q-Tip, shout out to Sadat X, shout out to Little Depp, the group home. These are all amazing voices. Shout out to Greg Nice. These are some of the greatest voices in hip hop. And I'm glad that I'm a part of that. I'm glad people go, when you come on a track, we know it's you. And I love when people tell me when they see me live that I sound like my record. Yeah. That is the greatest compliment.
I love the beat. I just love the beat.
Rest in peace to Old Dirty. Old Dirty had died maybe 2.5 weeks before we recorded that.
What was the rationale behind that? What's the message with that track? What you're trying to invoke?
Slow Blues was the first recorded song for the Wu-Tang meets indie culture.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be the domino that brought all the other songs. When you buy the record, they tell you that Slow Blues is the first recorded song. I'm the first verse of that whole project. Everybody that got on that project had to hear my verse, and then they could get on the project.
Excellent. That is brilliant.
Rascash, Rock Marciano, Jizza, everybody. So Slow Blues was the bar. And because I brought up Old Dirty, it was emotional.
Yeah.
It was spiritual. It's Cannibal Ox with Wu-Tang. What more do you want?
Well, you don't get any better than that, do you?
It really doesn't get better than that. Shout out to Wu. Shout out to all my brothers in the clan.
Excellent.
To my nation. Peace to the gods and earth. We here.
Absolutely, bro. I love it. It's been great. It's great talking to you. So we've not talked about the new stuff we've not talked about the new album that you're bringing out, but we've also not touched upon the one that is your latest, latest one, which I did pick a track, and we'll have a little listen to that in a minute. It's Live from the Airport, spelled Aire. As your artist name, obviously.
That's right. That's Aire. Live from the Airport. It's an EP that I released. I just re-released it with a bonus track called Empire Records. So make sure you rock that for the fans.
Yes, and I actually listened to that because I did pick a track from the EP, which was Warhead 86. But then
I love that track.
I like that. And then when I was doing something else, I still had it listening to it on Spotify, and I did something, and that track came on next, the Empire one. But this one grabbed me straight away.
Warhead 86, produced by Inner Space.
Look. Yeah, it's going down. Stargaze, Mercury retrograde. This was all part of the apex phase. I raised planets from lower to higher levels. After 1,000 years, we chained the devil. Cause he was acting reckless. The solar system on my collarbone is a necklace. And this was all before breakfast. I could build a city like a child plays Tetris. For real though, my flow rolls like judo.
Yeah, I love that. That got me. The beat, when the beat dropped as well, that's just wow. And I like that, like a Tetris. I love it when people drop words in like this and play it like a Tetris and play. It's like when you drop those sort of lyrics in, they just for me, they pop out. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Love it. So that's Warhead 86. Wonderful, mate. Wonderful. And that's from the Live from the Airport EP, which is great.
Yeah, man. I love that project. I love that particular song. I got it. Shout out to Stereo 13. That's my homie out west. His brother, Inner Space, is the producer of that. We went to his brother's house, had some bomb weed, and just spazzed out and made a great track.
Well, it's creative, isn't it? Some people use alcohol, some people, even some of the great, if you look at some of the great painters from back in the day, I mean, Picasso must have been off his complete head on something because of some of the stuff he created. Only they were all doing other things. You know what I mean? It depends, each their own, but it's whatever gets you creative, I suppose, isn't it? Part of the culture. So,
yeah, man.
So the bonus track on that one is, you've said, which you've added on because it does say bonus track, is Empire Records. So
Empire Records, yes, Empire Records, which was inspired by the movie and my love for rock and roll and my love for music in general. So there's gonna be some lines where the artist wasn't a rock artist. 95% of it is based on rock and roll.
Well, let's have a little listen to some of it, and then so we know what we're talking about. We can get round it.
Yeah. Crimson Cards. Out of nowhere entertainment. there's no other. The kid is not my son, she's not my lover. But she gave me bad brains, I'm in the S&M. You know, Alice in Chains. All my friends are in the Hall of Fame. They can feel it in their bones when I call their name. You too, I love Christ like you do. See me getting closer to God, what would you do? Come on, don't be frail as I hook you to a cross with a 9-inch nail. You see, Nikki was a sex fiend, and shooting heroin with Roxanne was the next thing. When she flicked that blue light, it was all night. That's heavy, like Led Zeppelin in mid-flight. These cats sounding dumb like Def Leppard.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, there's names in there, Little Rich. There's all sorts of stuff going in there, isn't there? Brilliant.
Shout out to Little Richard, who was a Cannibal Ox fan.
Really?
And I met him South by Southwest 15 years ago now.
Wow.
I walked into a South by Southwest Denny's, and Little Richard had 10 tables together, and he signaled to us to come eat with him. I could not believe it.
Wow.
I was there. I was promoting my music. It was me, my DJ, and my man Carnage, who I did the Mighty Joseph project with. I looked at them. He signaled again. He was like, come sit with us. I couldn't believe it. He was like, so I know y'all are artists. What's going on? And we just all started talking. Oh. Shout out to Little Richard. He just passed. And
that's crazy.
In the song, I said, these cats are old slang for a person is a cat.
Yeah.
So I said, these cats sounding dumb, like Def Leppard. She wouldn't touch him no more. He had a Little Richard. I used Richard to reference a penis.
Yeah.
And a penis is a dick. Dick is short for Richard.
Yeah.
So Little Dick, Little Richard.
Yeah.
I had to use his name in that to make the joke come across.
Yeah.
But it was more about his rock and roll history.
Yeah, and you can and that's a good thing because you've got two angles from that. You can hear it as one thing, or you could hear it as another thing, can't you? Do you know what I mean? You can hear it as both of those things you've just described, the person or what you're referring to, and you can, does he mean that? Does he actually mean that, or does he actually mean that? Which is great, and it's getting people questioning what you're actually
and
singing.
I thought about him a lot. I recorded that before he died. He died about a month after I recorded it. So it's special.
Yeah.
That line is one of the biggest lines in that record because I actually met him.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just that. And for you to get someone like Little Richard knowing who you are and being fans of your music and you as artists, that's a bit of a tick in the box, isn't it? You know, that you're talking about one of the greatest, well-known artists on the planet, aren't you, Little Richard?
It means a lot to me that the man that made Good Golly Miss Molly was a fan of what I was doing, where I was going at the time.
Yeah.
Because this is 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Easily 12. It's easily 12 years ago when I met him.
Yeah.
To 15 years. And it's just amazing that the man that made Tutti Frutti supported my movement.
Yeah, it's because the genres are totally different, aren't they? They're totally different things, but at the end of the day, there's passion and talent, isn't there?
We're in total different genres, but our musics are related.
Yeah,
it's like a great grandchild and a great granddad.
Yeah,
at like a family gathering. It's like you gotta take that photo.
Yeah.
Because they're so many generations apart, but they're the same family.
I like that.
And that's what it felt like He experienced all the racism I did.
Probably more because of the time in history. Probably a lot more. Yeah.
He experienced he experienced all of the poverty I did. We experienced everything.
Yeah.
It's just that my cops had newer guns. His cop had a buckshot and a rifle. My cop had a 9mm. So much of the same stuff. And remember the key part I told you. We were in a Denny's. Shout out to Marsalis, breakfast at Denny's.
Wonderful. That's actually brilliant because what you're saying there is it's like genetics, isn't it? It's like you said, the family. All things move on, and he's in the era when it's rock and roll. If he'd have been around when you were around, he probably looked at you guys and thinks, actually, if I was
Little Richard would have been a rapper.
Correct.
Clearly.
That's what I'm saying. It's what was right at the time, and rock and roll was right at the time. And as things move on, he probably looked at you guys and thought, wow, yeah, these are they're doing what I'm doing. They're exactly the same as me. I think it's brilliant, and it's brilliant that
people like to debate. People like to debate who made rock and roll. Rock and roll was a movement. I could say about 5 people helped make it, and he was one of them.
Yeah, definitely.
If I pull up the 5 people that made rock and roll, Chuck Berry, Muddy Waters, The Wolf,
yeah,
Little Richard,
yeah,
and you can throw another one, and they're all gonna be black.
Yeah. But
they all mastered folk music.
Yeah.
They mastered folk music. You have to understand that. Rock and roll is a quicker blues.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. It is the blues. And where does the blues come from? The blues comes from the juke houses, doesn't it? Jukebox. That's where the name jukebox comes from. It's from the juke houses, which comes from the black community, and that's where. So do you know what? Who we got to thank for all of the rich music we've got? The juke houses, and that's where it comes from, and everything.
We gotta give them their props. Rock and roll is the blues and jazz, and all they did is speed it up.
Yeah, just changed the tempo of it and added some little bits, but it's brilliant. Rock and roll just took the world by storm, didn't it? Rock and roll is just.
Now, Muddy Waters, he created the basic band, and he should be noted for that. He created the 4 to 6 dudes that play together. A guitar, a bass, a drum, a key, a horn. No one was doing that before Muddy. It was probably 30 of y'all or 3 of y'all.
yeah. Cast of thousands.
Muddy said, we're going to make the basic band, which is about 4 to 7 people. Nobody was doing that before him. Yeah. That must... study the movie Cadillac Records.
I will do. I'll write that down.
That'll be a quick lesson in what Muddy did. Cadillac Records was well done. Again, it's a movie. You're going to have to fact check certain things.
Yeah.
That movie showed the process of the blues becoming rock and roll.
I'm going to check that out because we do have a show on the station which is about the blues, and he says the blues is the roots and the rest is the fruit. We've gone everywhere, haven't we? We've talked about all sorts of stuff today.
Also, we gotta shout out reggae. We gotta shout out raga. We gotta shout out dancehall because reggae music is the original hip hop. Their DJs was spinning 45s, and they had a chanter. Chanters outdate the MC.
Yeah.
And remember, who is Kool Herc? A Jamaican who grew up listening to reggae.
which is brilliant. I love reggae. We've got a show on the station. It's absolutely amazing.
We gotta shout them out. We have to shout them out. These were in. Now listen, we just spoke about folk, blues, rock, jazz. All of that helped create reggae by way of ska. So when you study ska, you're still listening to reggae.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you were listening to the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, you were listening to reggae. Reggae is ska music.
Yeah.
You can trace it. You can trace all of it.
Yeah.
You understand? So do the knowledge on that.
They're all because they're all linked, aren't they? And what the other there's three genres that I really love, which is hip hop, reggae, and country music. I play a lot of country music. I do a country music show because if you listen to that, it's not as powerful as the others, but there's a lot of stories, the message, the beat.
Country music is folk and blues.
It's amazing. I love it.
So that's gonna bring you. That's rock.
Yeah, exactly. But
country, this is the best way to do it. The blues and folk went in two directions. A slower, medium pace, that's more country.
Yeah.
The faster pace is rock and roll.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit more dirty. Country wasn't as dirty.
Yeah.
They kept their themes pretty, it was the blues and folk and rock that would deal with sex, poverty, darker issues.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. And and you've also got, when you talk about reggae, a lot of reggae songs are about oppression, they're about problems, there's an artist that I follow at the moment. Is a relatively new artist called Protégé from Jamaica, and he's just, if you listen to some of his
I'm a Peter Tosh fanatic.
Yeah.
So make sure you listen to Mystic Man for me.
Mystic man. Such a mystic man. I'm just a mystic man. Mystic man.
Listen to Mystic Man Peter Tosh. It'll change your life. Your life will not be the same when that song ends.
There's another track I've got lined up. We'll just have a listen to a bit of it. It's a New York Minute. So I'm going to play a little bit of this. Yeah?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big song.
Yeah. Well, I've picked the good ones. Well, they're all good.
You picked some good ones, man. I got to shout you out.
I'm not a musician, but I know what's good. Is that all right?
But you know what to listen to.
Hey, I know what's not chips. That's what I know. I want the full meal, man.
You might not be a chef, but you know what to eat.
That's it, man. I know where to eat proper. Whoa.
Your neck broke, face cracked, laid flat, and give everything that you made back. 8 clap, nigga, sun vibes at your wave cap. Pray that New York Minute, bring Mace back. Shame that Remy took 8 flat. You know the game whacked, and every last rapper here try to bring the name back. It ain't rap, niggas better stay strapped. You can call the sticker balls, try to get your chain back. They thought the game was over when Big died, then homie Hope took it over. They shot Pac 5 times, years later, them boys took shine. That ain't even the least. Akon signed the hottest nigga in the streets. We gave swagger to the game, still and all. Everything could change.
I love it. I just love it, and I like the person that does the New York Minute as well. That adds another. That is a great track. I love the beat.
That's a great track. Shout out to Harry Fraud, the producer of the track. He makes amazing beats for the hip hop community. He's a huge fan of Can Ox. So that's how that worked.
Yeah.
I have a lot of music with Harry Fraud that's unreleased. And he did that track with French and Jadakiss initially. And then he opened it back up. I had met French. Shout out to French. I met French. Mad cool. They were vibing with me, and they threw me on the remix.
Yeah, awesome.
Word up.
Awesome.
They threw me on the remix, and I was blessed to get that exposure. You know, that was back when French was with Akon. Then he ended up with Puffy. So yeah, that was big. That was big at the time.
Cool, man. Cool. Love it. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Real hip hop. Real hip hop. I work with classic people, unknown people. We're gonna make a banger. You know, I'm about the music first.
Correct. So what we need to do, because we've what we need to talk about now, because we're gonna run out of time. We could talk all day. I think me and you, we could talk for hours. So
definitely,
it's awesome. I've enjoyed this. So what you could, so we've played some tracks from the Live from the Airport, which is something you released. It was an EP you just released.
Live from the Airport is out now, streaming worldwide. Make sure we're still taking down the old one, so make sure you lock on to the re-release, which has the bonus track Empire Records.
Brilliant.
The re-release is 8 tracks. The old one is 7. The old one will be down in a couple of days.
Cool.
So make sure you lock on to the new re-release, which has Empire Records,
which we play, which is brilliant. So you what you said at the start, you because what's next? You've got a great back catalogue there, lots of stories, lots of stuff that you've done. So what's next? You're actually working on a new album, are you?
I'm working on a full-length album right now, produced by my main producer, Cosmic, who produced Empire Records and Shadow Dancer. He also produced Solomon's Temple. So make sure you check out Solomon's Temple, Shadow Dancer, and Empire Records. That's my main producer. Shout out to everybody else who produced on the project. You know, it's an amazing project. It's called Live from the Airport. And and we're gonna follow up with a full-length album called Airplane.
Yeah, brilliant.
And Airplane is crazy so far. I've got Planet Asia on it. I've got Vinny Paz on it. It's an amazing album. Look out for that album. You know, my social media is Vast Aire 2090. VASTAIRE 2090.
Dead easy. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's great.
Add to me on Spotify. Add to me on Instagram, Twitter. You know, much respect.
Yeah. Well, I've been following you after connecting. I forget what his name is now that connected with me.
With Sin, my brother Sin, yeah.
Nice guy, and because I did a Facebook Live and I was looking for to do it, and he put you forward.
He's a great dude. He's a great dude. He's working real hard for us.
And I seriously mean this. And I probably say this a lot of times to people, but I am genuinely really grateful for you taking the time and coming to talk to me and talking about some quite some quite personal.
Much respect.
Yes.
Much respect to you for caring, because this is history. This is history, and someone has to care to log it down and write it down and make a note of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're all on borrowed time. I'm going to pass away just like Little Richard did. And just maybe this interview will give somebody insight to who I am.
And that's why I do these, because we can listen to your music all day long. We can watch you on social media. This is behind this.
We could do a part 2 and cover other things.
I think we should, because I've really enjoyed it, and especially when the album comes out, let's talk again. Because for me, this is a bit like, we talked a lot about food today. Food comes up a lot, but this is almost like we at front of house in the restaurant. You see everyone sat down. We might see you eating, but actually we've been in the kitchen and we've been cooking together, which is fantastic.
That's right, man. And you know, we can only do but so much in an hour. So, you know, we could do another one, you know.
Definitely.
And cover the topics and cover other music. And yeah, man.
Definitely. I would love to do a part 2. I would definitely love to. So when the plane takes off on the next album, when it lands, let's meet up at the airport and let's talk about it, man.
Well, definitely send me all the links, and I'll push this to my fan base. I want your show to be noted. I want to check out other interviews you did, and definitely.
Yeah, I'll send you some through, because I've just done one. The one before this was with a mixed race guy who's met another guy from New Zealand, and he'd been working on some of his. It's not hip hop. He does poetry, so you're gonna have to check that out. And it's poetry to music. And it is just divine. It's divine.
I love poetry. I do poetry. There's certain verses I do that have my poetic element where you can tell I don't have to rhyme. Mm. Like, I'm rhyming because I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
But I did spoken word for like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Next to my rhyming. So I could straight up do spoken word also. So, brilliant. You know.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk, and it really has been a pleasure to talk to you.
Much love, hip-hop family across the world. Yo, for real, I'm going to push your show to my fans. God bless you, and we got to do it again.
And you, man. And you. And listen, stay safe. I hope things change. It's been too long. Too much has gone, is happening around the world. There is some good people on both sides, and there's some nasty people on both sides. So I
want to say, rest in peace to my parents. This is my first interview since they passed.
Wow.
They passed both my parents passed in April. My mom had a stroke and my dad passed away. He was battling cancer. Rest in peace to my parents. Shout out to the hip hop world. Live from the airport is streaming now.
Wonderful.
Put that in the playlist.
Wonderful. Excellent.